Debate number 2 this evening, Aapka Paisa. The question we are asking tonight is these two letters that we've got we have accessed on the Aam Aadmi Party. One is a show cause notice from the Income Tax Department sent to the Aam Aadmi Party on the 14th of October 2016, where they remind that 4 summons were issued to the Aam Aadmi Party, and why should its income tax exemption not be taken away because there are discrepancies in the funds that they show in their donors list on the website and what they have submitted with the Election Commission of India. And within one day, 15th of October, Raghav Chadda, National Treasurer of the Aam Aadmi Party, submits a revised list to the Election Commission of India saying that the accounts that they had submitted for 2013 and 2014 are being revised in 2016 after repeated reminders coming in from the income tax authorities. Is this the transparency Arvind Kejriwal was talking about? We'll debate that with our guest this evening, Shazia Ilmi, leader of the BJP, joining me live from Delhi. Yogendra Yadav, co-founder of the Swaraj Abhiyan, also joining me live from Delhi. Dr Munish Raizada, convener, Chanda Band Satyagraha against the Aam Aadmi Party, live from our studios in Delhi. Arun Bhatia joining us live, former IAS officer, joining me live from Pune. Sumanth C Raman, political commentator, joining me live from Chennai, and Sanjay Hegde, leading senior counsel in the Supreme Court, joining me live from Delhi. But my first question goes out to you, Yogendra Yadav. Yogendra Yadav, you had raised the question, and Times Now has today proved it. We have, as we showed, 2 letters, one written by the income tax authorities to the Aam Aadmi Party on why their income tax exemption should not be withdrawn. The fact is, why has Aam Aadmi Party, which claimed to be the most transparent party, not put out the details of their donors on their website ever since the income tax department started asking them questions on the 9th of June, the first summons issued to them, up to the October 14th, when they actually sent them a notice, show cause notice for withdrawal of exemptions from income tax? And why does surreptitiously the Aam Aadmi Party then go and correct their audited accounts after 2 years when the income tax authorities raise a sting?
I should begin by making 2 comments. First is that I don't see any Aam Aadmi Party representative here, so they are not in a position to defend themselves. So we should be go out of our way to be transparent.
Well, we have contacted them, Yogendra Yadav. I'd like to put that on record. We have contacted them. We have asked them to come along, but they've refused to answer.
I know you would have tried. Yeah, so I'm not saying you are unfair. I'm only saying that in this debate, therefore, we need to be extra cautious. And second, let us not have an impression that Aam Aadmi Party is the only party involved in these murky deals. I personally do believe that Aam Aadmi Party may be a shade better than the rest. If we were able to pay as much attention to the misdeeds of Congress and BJP, I'm sure we would find 10 times more these things than this. Having said it, now let me focus on the basic point. Aam Aadmi Party tried to come up with something new in Indian politics by saying we are the first party which would reveal the sources of our names of our donors. We are transparent. And actually, once you compare, and that's a question we had asked yesterday, why is it that this party has given one set of lists to Election Commission and income tax authorities, and quite another list was put out on the public domain? Why is it that names were not matching? The official answer, as you now know from Aam Aadmi Party, is that these are inadvertent errors. I find it strange to believe because inadvertent errors can be made once. Why were they made 2 years consecutively? Number 2, inadvertent errors can be small. You can miss out one page, you can miss out something.
Yes.
But inadvertent errors to add up to something like 16 crore. I have not done this addition myself. I'm told by people who have. And I believe we would get to know much more tomorrow in his press conference. But it adds up to something like 16 crore. Now that doesn't look like a minor slip or inadvertent error. It looks like something much more systematic to me. We had asked other questions as well. Why is it that the website is down for the last 6 months from June onwards? The official answer of Aam Aadmi Party is because the BJP is after our donors. This is ridiculous explanation because if the BJP controls tax department, as Aam Aadmi Party would like us to believe, and if the government is after them, they clearly have not cannot conceal it from the government. The only thing removing the list would do is to conceal it from the public.
Fair
Why
point.
conceal it from the public, for heaven's sake?
Fair
So
point,
I really
Yogendra
don't
Yadav.
see any answer to the question that we had raised. And if at all they wish to answer, the only thing I would want from them is let Aam Aadmi Party then make public declaration. These were the names and amounts which were inadvertently left out in these 2 years. Let the public know.
Right. Yogendra Yadav and Shazia Ilmi of the BJP now, but erstwhile of the Aam Aadmi Party. I think both of you have been there right since the India Against Corruption movement. You all joined and moved towards this political movement. There is a reason why questions are raised about the Aam Aadmi Party. And like Mr. Yadav said, why not question all the other parties? We are questioning all the other parties. Perhaps their transgressions are far greater than the Aam Aadmi Party. But why does it hurt when it is the Aam Aadmi Party, and why is it that we are saying Aapka Paisa, Shazia Ilmi? It's because the idea of Swaraj, the idea of transparency, the idea of not hiding anything from the people, being a political party with a difference, that was the fundamental principles of the Aam Aadmi Party. And if they are hiding behind the same
Anand,
loopholes they
yes.
questioned, then it's a concern.
Yes. Yes, Anand, and I would like to say at this point of time, and I would like to say this to you and Navika, both of you, that I was an anchor just like the two of you. I had other things to do in life. I would have never thought of joining either BJP or Congress, but I was there, even before Yogendra ji was there, with the Anna Hazare movement, because that stood for change, that stood for transformation, and I was not the only one. There were many, many people like me who actually believed in politics of transformation. So I would not, which is why I'm not even speaking for BJP or Congress or any other party, but actually using the emotion of those times to make it, to transform it into a party, and then to transgress, and actually in a very George Orwellian kind of a way, espousing a cause and then doing something which is totally antithetical to the cause is what Aam Aadmi Party did. It was earlier when I was there that Aam Aadmi Party constantly quoted other parties and their transgressions and the misgivings people had with them, saying we should not be like them. Every debate of theirs, and I'm not surprised not to find a representative here, I'm surprised to see how Aam Aadmi Party keeps saying that Congress does it, BJP does it, SP does it, and so we also do it. But the difference was, and Aam Aadmi Party said, we will not do what others have done. The raison d'etre, the sole reason for being of Aam Aadmi Party was anti-corruption, was transparency, was good governance, was inclusion of people. So I don't understand, and having a better inner-party democracy. So it is very amusing really, and for these reasons and more, people like Yogendra ji and I find ourselves out of the party, and yes, we're doing other things, that's for sure. And we speak, I speak on whenever you talk about BJP poll funding, and we face the serious charges, but how come our representative is not there? So, Arvind has really hoodwinked many people.
Arun Bhatia,
and taken the whole...
Arun Bhatia, you are somebody who was enamored of the Aam Aadmi Party. You supported that entire movement. But when it comes to the crucial question of funding, the Aam Aadmi Party had said that they will promise to bring in fresh and cleaner politics to the country. How do you see this party standing today, especially because March 29th, 2014, what did they say? They said, we challenge the Congress and the BJP to disclose the names of the people from where they've got 80% of their funds being spent in the Lok Sabha election. The silence of these two parties on the Delhi High Court's judgment, which has held them guilty for accepting foreign funds in violation of the FCRA or the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, makes it clear that the Congress and the BJP are hand in glove on the issue of taking huge financial favors from corporate houses. Why can't the same question be raised about the Aam Aadmi Party? First, the income tax department asked questions and then they changed their accounts with the Election Commission of India. And secondly, their website, which was supposed to disclose the details of every single donor, has been under construction for 6 months now. In fact, ever since the first income tax notice went to them. Is that a strange coincidence, Mr. Arun Bhatia?
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you. It's a sad day. It's really bad that these guys have done this. And I agree with everything that's been said on the panel tonight. This was a party for change. Even if the other parties are not doing it, this party was meant to set an example. This party was meant to show the way, and people like us put our faith in them because the anti-corruption platform was their main platform, and we are annoyed, and we are really annoyed. Who the hell do they think they are? They've let us all down. You know, you can forgive a lot of things that Kejriwal has done because he was new, because he didn't know how to play the game, his enemies were too strong, the governor didn't let him work, his supporters left him, a lot of excuses, and we all agreed with the excuses and we said, give this man a chance. But this is ridiculous. Election funding is one of the biggest sources of corruption over here, and the guy is not revealing the names of his donors. He can put up 10 websites. He can call people to his house and distribute leaflets, give the names out. Aaj nahi to kal aapko karna padega. So I think we've all been let down. It really can't be justified. And one really feels very angry that he's behaving like the rest. Of course, the other parties perhaps have done much more in this therapy, and they should also be made to come out to their accounts.
But Mr. Bhatia, why do you think...
pardon the Aam Aadmi Party.
But Mr. Bhatia, why do you think that happened? Why do you think that this fall from grace within the eyes of his own peers, within the eyes of his own teammates has happened?
I think what happened was that they were clean, they had good people with them, and they took the right decision to enter politics. But they found that if you're totally straight, it's difficult to win. My point is, you should still have stuck to the straight line. You still should have done things the right way. You should have been white, clean, above board. Because the people were giving from their hearts. They would have voted for you. That's how you got Delhi. You didn't need to do this shit. It was not necessary for you to do it. You can control your ambitions, don't have to win the other states. Make Delhi a model that can be replicated all over the country. So when they found they're coming in terms with reality, and it's so easy to make money,
C. Raman,
people will give, they want favors. Corruption is so easy in this country. They just fell a prey to that.
Sumanth C. Raman, are these different standards for the Aam Aadmi Party when they speak in public about the Congress and the BJP, but when it comes to themselves, they really don't have an example to lead? In fact, look at this 2 letters which tell the tale of what Aam Aadmi Party is gone. Those letters, we've shown them on your screen. When the income tax department sends them 4 summons between June and September, and then finally in October asks them why their income tax exemption should not be taken away, they give a revised list of audited accounts to the Election Commission within 24 hours of the income tax department asking them for withdrawal of their income tax exemptions. Is this the above board politics that Arvind Kejriwal had promised?
No, what I find extremely strange, and I think it's fairly inexplicable, unless there is some covering up going on an ongoing basis, is why the website should remain down on a prospective basis. Let us say they received an income tax notice, and this income, and they will have to give their explanations for what happened in the past couple of years. And they say that, okay, there are some discrepancies in our account for 2013, 14, 14, 15, whatever, and we're taking those offline. But from henceforth, whatever donations come on, that will still be available for anybody to view on the website. And then you get to clean up your act. Now, even that would have some measure of logic than just taking the whole thing down. I mean, who on earth in this country will believe that a website will be under maintenance for 6 months? Second, the website is still capable of accepting donations. Mind you, it's not that they've stopped accepting donations. So you can still go there and you can donate to the party, but you cannot see who has donated. And why can't you see who has donated at least in the last 3 or 4 months? I mean, your notice has come quite some time back, and you have to give the account, I mean, you have to clarify with the income tax and the EC for the previous period. But for the current period, and I think it is extraordinarily silly for a party that claimed to have transparency and an anti-corruption plank as its leitmotif to actually behave in this manner. This is shooting itself in the foot. If they have any sense at all, they will put that website up tomorrow and they will at least
but that's the
start
question,
showing
Suman.
the prospective donations, those who are donating at least from tomorrow.
Yes.
I agree with Mr. Yadav.
Yes.
He's, in the sense that compared to the Congress or the BJP, the Aam Aadmi party is probably still doing a better job of it and being more transparent. But still, whether it is 16 crore or 600 crores as is likely to be with the other parties, a party which came, which its entire USP is anti-corruption and transparency, cannot be seen to be behaving like this.
Yeah, that's see, Suman, that's a sentiment. But the question is, if you can rectify an inadvertent error which you've made over 2 years overnight, how do you trust the list that is going to be put up now if the website comes back up? And if the website comes back up after the Newshour debate tonight,
Anand, no.
Suman, so if
Anand,
it comes back up tonight, like you said, going forward they have to be transparent.
Would like to see their donations come up on screen.
Correct.
And that can be tested by anybody.
Yes, it can be. Yes, it can be.
Get that up with immediate effect.
But you did not expect. See, the questions being raised, Sanjay Hegde of the Aam Aadmi party, is not because they are like the BJP or the Congress party. They are being asked, or any other party. Why name just two? Any other political party. They said we are different from every other political party. We will do what no other political party has done.
Ilmi, all parties are equal, but Aam Aadmi party is more equal.
Explain.
No, Shazia Ilmi quoted George Orwell, so that's what prompted that thought. Basically, you're putting up the Aam Aadmi party to a higher standard.
Because they themselves said that bar.
But they themselves said it, Sanjay Hegde.
A lot of
Sanjay Hegde, they themselves asked for it.
They set it
After
up.
all, they were taking the moral high ground. They were giving summons to the others.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But as Yogendra Yadav correctly said, look at the other parties. See, no other party had actually put up all its figures on the website. It is because the figures were on the website that the income tax authorities have started getting active. Because the income tax notice itself says, look, these are the donors that you have stated on the website. These donors do not seem to have been reported to the Election Commission. Hence, please tell us why we should not withdraw the exemption. I must also tell you that under the Income Tax Act, all that the income tax officer can do is to take away their exemption for those amounts for that one particular year. This is a normal procedure under tax law, and thereafter it is subject to appeals and thereafter judicial review. We need not necessarily damn the Aam Aadmi party as having done something criminal.
No,
it could be
Sanjay Hegde.
But it's
It's about they don't have the right to question others. Sanjay Hegde, it's about they don't have the right to question others and claim the moral high ground.
Continue to be offline.
No, they cannot claim the moral high ground after doing what they have done. They have to first take that moral high ground. They have to first set up and meet the benchmark they set. They set the benchmark and they have fallen off the grace of their own peers. So if they have to win back the confidence of people who quit their team, then only Arvind Kejriwal has a right to question the BJP or the Congress or any other party. That's what we are saying. With what face are they going to the electorate in Punjab and Goa today when they cannot account for the source of funds?
I would think the essence of democracy is people asking questions. All kinds of people, whether moralists, prudists or shameless people. As long as the question is relevant, questions must be asked and answered.
Correct. So let the Aam Aadmi party answer the questions they need to answer first, because that's what they said. They said, we are going to change the face of politics in India. They said, we stand for Swaraj. They said, we stand for transparency. We will hold these beacons. These are the core principles. You will not see an ounce of corruption in our ranks. And you can question us on any aspect of our dealings as a political party. Last 6 months, there has been no question asked because there has been no evidence out. So how is that fair? Munish Raizada, how is that fair and how is that right?
So we have been asking this question. We have been asking this question. On November 25th, on the eve of the Foundation Day, I wrote an open letter to Aam Aadmi Party stating that the list of the donors should be reinstated within a week, else lest we should be forced to launch a Chanda Band Satyagraha. Then, since there was no answer from the party leadership, we launched Chanda Band Satyagraha. That means no list, no donation. Meaning by, if you don't show the list, we are not going to donate. On December 21st, I came to India from Chicago. We met Anna Hazare ji next day. He gave us a patient hearing. Then I gave my submission in writing. And the next day, with the blessings of Anna Hazare ji, we launched Chanda Band Satyagraha at Rajghat. Anna Hazare ji wrote, I am pained to see that the same place, Rajghat, where we launched an anti-corruption movement again throughout India, some of our fellows are launching the movement against the party. So you can see how the stink has set in the party. Unfortunately, the Yug Purush has been surrounded by morally degenerated and corrupt leaders. निकलो बाहर मकानों से, जंग लड़ो बेईमानों से, भ्रष्टाचार का एक ही काल, वाल वाल वाल. You can fill in the blanks. भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत मेरी मांग ही नहीं, मेरी जिद है. So we are saying फाइनेंशियल ट्रांसपेरेंसी, चंदे की पारदर्शिता हमारी मांग ही नहीं, हमारी जिद है.
Okay.
Good people are sitting outside today. The whole movement of Aam Aadmi Party, the whole ideology, which was nurtured and nourished by lakhs of people all across the country and NRIs, has been hijacked by this morally degenerated and corrupt leadership. And the people, good people, are sitting outside.
Okay, Yogendra
Yes.
Yadav, if I can come back to you, Yogendra Yadav, the question is, this is the list in my hand that I have of all the donations made in 2014 to the Aam Aadmi Party. Every single detail is here. Now, there are several details over here where the donations are above 20,000 rupees, but the name, addresses are not present. Isn't it a requirement under Section 13A of the Income Tax Act that wherever the donations are above 20,000, detailed accounts with names and addresses have to be maintained? Number one. Number two, to get these details and to get income tax exemption, you have to present audited accounts to the Election Commission of India, and those audited accounts are basis on which you get an income tax exemption. My question is, Income Tax Department for the year 2014 and 2015, this is the paper I have in my hand from the Income Tax Department. They have done a calculation that total donations as reported by the party above 20,000 rupees to the Election Commission of India is 19 crore 82 lakhs 32,320 rupees. That's the total they have declared to the Election Commission. Total donations as per the website turn out to be 27 crore 48 lakhs 71,611. And total credits that they have done an account of on the website are about actually totaling to about 65 crore. Now, there are huge discrepancies in what's been given to the Election Commission, what's there on the website. Yogendra Yadav, how does the Aam Aadmi Party plan to explain these discrepancies? The question is, when they are asking the BJP and the Congress party questions, shouldn't they be first demonstrating some amount of transparency on their own?
Of course, these are illegalities, these are discrepancies, these things need to be explained, and there are fines, there are procedures and all that. Navika, to my mind, the real tragedy is not that Aam Aadmi Party's accounts are fudged. The real tragedy is not that they have these discrepancies and so on. Everyone in this country knows that every single political party fudges their accounts completely. So what's new? The real tragedy is that the one hope this country had of one political party coming out and saying we will be different, we would be transparent. So the tragedy is not Aam Aadmi Party's fall from the grace. The tragedy is that this belief that politics could be clean, that is what takes the beating, and that's where I share Arun Bhatia's anguish. The real tragedy is not that Aam Aadmi Party will not get donors anymore, as Munish Raizada said. Probably those clean donors, those who were investing in that hope of a clean India won't donate to Aam Aadmi Party. The real tragedy is that Aam Aadmi Party doesn't need their money anymore, because to my mind, what we are looking at is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, because as in the case of most political parties, the amount that is revealed on their books is probably 2 to 5% of their actual figures. This was not the case with Aam Aadmi Party in year 2013-14, however many mistakes they may have made in their accounts. But I have very good reasons to believe that today, what Aam Aadmi Party declares in its books, rightly, wrongly, technical discrepancies, mistakes, frauds apart, all that may not be more than 20% of their real income. The real game is what is happening in Punjab. The cash that has been collected in Punjab for elections is astoundingly large. We are looking at a scenario not very different from that of the BSP, not very different from the scenario that Congress and BJP play out, or Akali Dal for that matter. That is the real scandal. The money that you and I cannot talk about because it's not there, it's not reported, it doesn't need to be reported. The entire game is in black. That is what it is drifting towards, and to me,
Yogendra Yadav, at a time when we are discussing the Aam Aadmi Party, we also have reports. Yogendra Yadav, we also have reports of the Samajwadi Bahujan Samaj Party. The Bahujan Samaj Party has just been reported by income tax authorities of depositing 104.36 crore in their one bank account of Karol Bagh. That's the evidence coming from the Bahujan Samaj Party, which is why the question we are asking is, should every political party come out and put on record every single naya paisa that they get in terms of political funding? Because what was the Bahujan Samaj Party doing with all this cash sitting over there when only after the announcement of remonetization they deposited this in one bank account? What about the other bank accounts? Should an entire investigation be launched into every single political party's accounts now? How much has been deposited since 8th of November?
You're absolutely right, Navika, but the point is that this is a systemic fault that BSP is exploiting.
Who bought property
because at the moment there is nothing in our accounts.
Sanjay Hegde, 1 minute. Yogendra Yadav is replying. I'll come to you.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, you know, according to the law today, any political party can claim any amount of money that they may have received from donors below 20,000 per donor, which is to say sky is the limit, you can put anything. The question is, did the BSP receive it after 8th of November? There is no way of finding out, because all the political parties have created a gang, they have created a cartel, and they have consistently refused to follow Election Commission's recommendation that they should follow the accountancy procedure set by the Chartered Accounts of India. They don't follow it, so there is no way, and I can tell you, no matter what news you have today, the BSP will get away with it. They will get away with these 104 crore rupees, because there is nothing in the law to prevent them from doing so. And the guilty for that is not just the BSP. BJP and Congress are as much guilty of protecting these laws as the BSP is. And I'm afraid Aam Aadmi Party is going the same way. What I was saying about the Aam Aadmi Party, I would summarize only in one word. The moral project called Aam Aadmi Party is dead. Political machine may live, I don't know, I'm not in the business of forecasting the life of that political machine, but as a moral project, it is dead, and that is really very,
That's right.
Are the people realizing that? Are the people realizing that, Sanjay Hegde? And is that what is going to, has seen this drastic turn of fortunes for the AAP in Punjab? Will they also get, will they be able to answer these queries when they are raised in Goa? Are they hurting themselves in Delhi too?
See, that is a question. No, that's a question for the people to answer. The people may well decide.
You are people too.
That among all immoral parties, which one is the least immoral? Sometimes you see, for a voter, the choice is not between good and bad. It is between bad and worse.
We made the transition, Sanjay Hegde. We made the transition from completely moral to least immoral. The transition has been made as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, from completely moral to minimum immorality levels. Is that what the people of this country have to choose between? Is that why the India Against Corruption movement had turned into the Aam Aadmi Party?
The India Against Corruption movement, let's be clear about it, was an India Against Congress movement. There was nothing else. It was a ragtag army of various interests which all came together. Some of them have now joined the BJP, some of them are now with the Aam Aadmi Party, and some are with some third force altogether. At that point of time, it looked as if the Congress was the fountainhead of corruption. We have now seen that there are other parties also. When they come into power, they get equally, if not more, corrupt. Ultimately, as I said, the choice for the voter is not between good and bad. The choice is between bad and worse. So you decide. As in some South Indian states, we have this thing of voting alternate parties, so that both of them are kept in check.
No, but that's not what the Aam Aadmi Party stood for, or that's what not the Aam Aadmi Party came into fruition, Sanjay Day. See, you may say that with other political parties, but Sumanth Raman, you know very well that the Aam Aadmi Party said we are good. And there was an exodus of leaders because the transition from good to not so bad happened. And like Navika said today, they have now become not a moral but the least immoral, like Sanjay Hegde mentioned. So it is very evident.
Looking at a choice between you're looking at a choice between bad and worse.
I didn't give them even that certificate.
I didn't give them even that certificate. In states like Punjab or Goa, people haven't yet had an exposure to the Aam Aadmi Party in terms of governance. So they would probably at this point of time look upon them a little more favorably than if some of them had a term in office and had become millionaires or billionaires.
See, they don't have a great success story to talk about. Like Mr. Bhatia had said, that had they focused on Delhi and made a model out of Delhi, they could have got far greater traction going into the future than rush towards Punjab and Goa and forget about Delhi altogether.
As we wind up, in the bargain, compromise on their credentials. In the bargain, also compromise on their credentials and their capabilities of raising money. Yogendra Yadav, I once again come back to you because you were part of this entire drive of the Aam Aadmi Party to set up a high moral ground, to set up a clean governance system, to set up clean politics. When you left the Aam Aadmi Party and decided to part ways, was funding also one of the major reasons of your differences with the Aam Aadmi Party?
The first time any big funding scandal surfaced, Navika, was 4 days before the Delhi Assembly election of 2015, when those 50 lakh donations came. And at that point, coming just 4 days before the election, we clearly saw this as a ploy to derail Aam Aadmi Party. But we asked questions within the party. We said, so where did it come from? Do we know? The answer we were told at that point is no, we are completely innocent, we have no idea. And we said, all right, let's frame a committee, let a committee go into it and let's find out where did this money come from. That's roughly the point when we were thrown out, to be precise, from the party. But my question still remains, so what happened to those 50 lakh rupees each for donations? The party was to frame a policy about not getting Benami funds. Or has it been getting even more Benami funds? We might probably find more answers about all this tomorrow. You may be talking about it tomorrow again. But that's another question. So yes, at the point when we left the party, funding was not a central question because most of these things which are apparent to us today were not apparent. But in one way, funding was a question because Prashant and I had raised questions about the property of some of the candidates. We said this fellow has 700 crore rupees of property and has been a junior engineer with with some waterworks department. How can he possibly have this kind of money? So much of our objection against candidate was based on their disproportionate assets, about their records of corruption, which were all brushed aside. And as you know, not just us, even the Lokpal was brushed aside. So that's what really happened. So in that sense, violation of norms had begun. Serious compromise with norms had started. And our conversation was roughly of the kind that Arun Bhatia reported, which is we were saying, Arvind, we don't need
That's
to do
right.
it. And even if it means we lose something, we should be prepared to lose it. That's why we came here.
Well, clearly that's all that has changed, Yogendra Yadav. Now it's not elections and politics for cleaning up politics. It is elections for winning states and coming to power. That's been probably the shift that the Aam Aadmi Party has taken ever since it became a political party. But we will continue to ask here questions on why a revised detailed report was submitted to the Election Commission of India with inadvertent errors being submitted after 2 years. We leave the judgment to you, dear viewers, because viewers will need to make up their mind on whether the Aam Aadmi Party is in a position to preach to other political parties when its own record on transparency has been severely questioned. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining Anand and me here on debate number 2.